Like I said, my name is Ryan Luig, and I'm one of the co-owners of Loft Roasters. Mason, the guy in the fancy graduation cap, is my other partner. And we got started, or we had this business idea after we became really good friends over millions of cups of coffee. Kind of funny there, but so we'd always been interested in coffee from both of us from a young age, and just over coffee we shared stories and shared ideas and thought it would be interesting to work in coffee. And one day, sitting down with another friend, we decided, like, what's stopping us? So we kind of put our plans and ideas into action. So the problem that we see with coffee is that the farmers are often forgotten. Out of the final product of coffee, they get a very small portion of that income. And there's no real good way to protect the farmers. And so what we try to do with our business is, right now, our coffee is sourced through green coffee traders, and we make sure that they give guarantees to the farmers, protected pricing. That way farmers can kind of pull themselves out of the poverty that they live in. And our future plans are to actually engage with the farmers ourselves, go to origin, meet with them, and teach them ways to make their business sustainable, and just have personal relationships with the farmers, because that's just good business practice, and how to build a sustainable coffee business. So Mason is in an interesting... Okay, well, so what makes our coffee product different from other coffees is that we use the science to understand how the variables in the coffee production chain affect the flavor of the final product. And we use that as a roadmap to how we roast our coffee. So if the variables tell us that the coffee is naturally going to be one way, we roast it to bring out those characteristics. We don't try to make it something that it's not. And we have training through the Specialty Coffee Institute, which Mason is there in China right now, taking classes, and he's going to come back certified to train some of the classes through the Specialty Coffee Institute. Okay, well, and a little bit more on the Specialty Coffee Institute, because that's going to be a big focus for our business. It's a organization whose goal is to promote sustainability in coffee through the whole production chain, from farming to processing to roasting to cafe management, and just best business practices throughout the entire market. Like I said, with a focus on sustainability, these practices can be repeated and scalable on a large scale without wrecking the production chain or the environment. And so you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Loft Roasters. Yeah. So I guess the final question is...
Well, I'll kick off the questioning. We got two minutes left, and if you have anything else.
Okay, yeah, I can keep talking. So Mason has had this opportunity to go to China and intern with a coffee lab called Torch, and that's where he got introduced to SCI. And this whole experience has really shifted our ideas and what we wanted to do with the company. So like I said, there's going to be a focus on education, training, and bringing those classes back to the States, and really working with SCI to promote sustainable business here in Wichita Falls, in the coffee industry. Okay,
well, so let me kick off by asking the million cups question, which is, as your business exists today, what can the community do to help you succeed?
So Mason and I are coffee experts by heart. We're definitely not business guys, as you can tell. So some of the questions that we wrangle with relate to business and how to basically run our hobby as a business and how to make it profitable. Another way that the community can help is just to spread the word. I know that we have a quality coffee product, and people tell me that, and I hope they're not just trying to inflate my ego. So try it, and if you like it, tell your friends about us.
One thing I can say about the coffee, just feedback. So he dared me to try his coffee without cream or sugar because I'm a coffee addict, and so I tried his coffee without cream or sugar. And he said, "You're actually going to be able to stomach our coffee black." What? And it was good. It was good. It was sweet. It was good. It didn't feel like Mississippi mud. So kudos.
Well, thank you.
Hey Ryan, how many flavors? Do you have one flavor you're concentrating on, or like a lot of people have all sorts of different blends and stuff?
So different origins, like I said, the variables of where the coffee is grown affects the flavor. So it just depends on when we're looking at a list of green coffees, we'll pick something that catches our eye. Like, we haven't had a coffee that was really nutty or, chocolatey in a while. So we'll grab something that would bring those flavors out. Me and Mason are partial to the sweeter coffees with the kind of fruit tones. So we end up with a lot more of that than the traditional kind of chocolatey, nutty coffee flavors. Yes.
Forgive me if you've mentioned it, but
No.
you said part of the mission is to deal directly with the growers. Okay, what's on the other end? Who is your target? Are you envisioning a chain of Loft bucks, or are you are you interested in wholesale? Are you supplying the coffee houses, or do you intend to be the coffee houses? Who's your end user?
So where we want to drive our income from is through wholesale. We will have a small cafe, more of like a tasting room to sample and a place for our classes. But really our income driving will be through wholesale.
And how long, twofer here. So when you roast and blend, that's all a part of what you're doing, right?
Right.
The roasting and blended.
Mm-hmm.
How long before it gets into my cup? A few hours?
From when we roast it?
Yeah.
So
when am I drinking it? A few hours?
There's a couple
days?
bags sitting around the room, and what we try to do is we try to get a bag to you within 48 hours of roasting it.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
This is super cool. Where are you guys doing all this?
So right now, I've got a friend who runs a gym, and he has a back room, and that's kind of where we've set up our little warehouse. It's not a very good place to bring people, it's not conducive to bringing people in. But when Mason comes back and we really get our finances in order and looking at gathering funding, we'll have a legitimate storefront.
I suggest downtown.
Yeah, so, when we started, we really were looking at downtown, and we've kind of decided that maybe downtown is a little saturated with Odd Duck, 8th Street, and now Firehouse going in. So we were looking at maybe somewhere close to MSU, like down Kemp somewhere. If you guys have any other ideas of...
Look at Finishing Touch Plaza. He's real reasonable on rent. I don't know what he has open right now, but James Weatherby, that's where we're at. And
Okay.
of course, that may be a little selfish, too.
Take it with
There's
you.
a place right where we're at, Ryan,
Okay.
in the Farmers Insurance Building.
Yeah.
And I also want to touch base on what you said, though. There's a lot of coffee shops downtown, but you guys are going to be offering something different. So it may be saturated in the sense that coffee is in downtown,
Mm-hmm.
but you guys you're going to be doing tastings. People can come in and buy bulk, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but you're going to be having classes. So don't let that scare you away from one particular market
Okay.
versus another. it sets you guys apart.
We'll go
Go ahead.
here and then here.
My question about the training classes, how big of a percentage do you see that becoming? Because at this point, there's nobody in town that's training you how to make your coffee at home or how to
Right.
monetize that. So you want to talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit?
So the training for the first couple years, I think, is going to be a larger chunk. But as the wholesale takes off, like we dream or expect or hope it would, that's going to kind of overshadow the income we make from classes.
Well, if you guys, you had a coffee club, and, your whole thing is you can FedEx coffee anywhere and have it fresh roasted in less than 48 hours, and you guys get together and do some smoking funny YouTube videos teaching the coffee like Gary Vaynerchuk would do with wine,
Yeah.
his wine channels, teaching everybody everything there is to know about wine, and build your personality preference on that. And, who cares where you are? Downtown here, downtown there. The UPS can downtown you anywhere.
Right.
Or FedEx, pardon me. Did I say UPS?
I just have a quick question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I was done.
I was just wondering, how are you getting the message out to people currently? I mean, are you trying to build that hype right now, or are you kind of waiting to
So-
get everything in line before you start?
We're kind of waiting just because Mason is gone, and right now he's the one with a lot of the big ideas. He's been working at Torch is a great company, and when he comes back with those great ideas, that's when we really want to take a big step forward.
So if someone wanted to buy your product right now, how would they do that?
So on our Facebook page, there's a pinned post at the top that takes you to an order form, or you can talk to me. Most people just shoot me a text and say, "Hey, need some coffee," or the order form on Facebook. Check.
You got retail partners that are distributing your coffee or using it, selling it?
So right now, Gypsy Kit Fit, they serve our coffee, and One Life Community Church serves our coffee on Sunday mornings, and those are kind of our two wholesale clients right now. Yes.
I'm new to giving advice. I'm just going to say that right off the top for this particular venue, anyway. But I think that I would add what you just said to your presentation, for sure. Like the Gypsy Kit Fit is somewhere local that you can buy your coffee and things like that.
Okay.
So I like the idea of you being close to MSU. I work with a lot of youth, and I work with a lot of college people, and that is probably one of their biggest complaints is somewhere that's new and fresh that has coffee that's close to MSU. I mean, the closest, if they have to drive is Starbucks. And I mean, I know there's smaller coffee places and stuff like that, but I think that would be a really good idea. I like that.
All right, thank you. Yes.
Ryan, I just want to say it's a little testimonial here. Turn the camera around.
We'll do a separate video.
I am a customer of Ryan's, and I have been now for about 4 months. And I'm telling you, I've stopped buying any other coffee. Now, I do go downtown every once in a while and have one of their different blends, but at my house, the only coffee we have is Ryan's Coffee. And the reason for that is because it is a mild, well-flavored, full-flavored coffee that is easy to make and it's easy to drink.
Thank you.
I just got a comment.
Okay.
I just went to your Instagram and your Facebook and looking at it, I mean, it would be so easy for you guys to leverage both platforms and even YouTube. With the story you guys got and with everything you're doing and kind of the vision that you're projecting to actually build a massive following. And, I know how to build followings. I'm not selling myself, I don't like people, but I'm just saying, I got one page over 100,000 followers, and most pages have 25, 30,000 followers and stuff. So what I'm saying is this, immediately when I looked at it, I noticed that there's tons of things that you can immediately start doing to get more followers and then also increase engagement.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, when you start making those changes and tweaking it, I'm just gonna say, you guys are gonna blow up. You know, tell your story, do it right, you will blow up.
Okay.
I would be excited about it.
That's a really good point. Just because Mason's in China doesn't mean you can't record YouTube videos now.
Right.
And if, at the very least, get prepared for when you do decide to take the big step.
Mm-hmm.
And to juice stalled off of both of those comments, you've got, you know, technologies like Zoom, where you can get online at the same time.
Yeah.
And Facebook Live it, or YouTube Live it, you know, or pre-record, edit, and put it up there, so.
Yeah. It's, I guess the challenge there is there's a 12-hour difference between him and me. And he works like 10-hour days, 6 days a week over there. And he's kind of dead tired. So, excuse for him. But, yeah.
This is
Yes.
kind of a supply chain question, but
Okay.
I'm a little bit of a farmer. I like to grow my own peppers for Uncle Carl's smoking hot salsa. So what about growing your own coffee beans and picking up that part of the business?
So, it's something we've kind of considered maybe down the road. Coffee's not really suited to be grown here, like States. It needs to be around the equator and high in elevation. So I would say it's on the table to, buy a farm somewhere where we could reliably have good coffee. But like I said, it's definitely something that's in the back of our mind down the road.
Good.
Brian?
Okay.
Okay.